Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action packed, all new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at Lulu.com today. Last weekend, Joker Fale Adieu suffered the worst drop for a movie's box office in its second weekend in cinematic history. Now, Joker Fale Adieu was already a box office flop in its opening weekend, only getting $40 million off a $200 million budget, and was critically panned in that first week. And that terrible word of mouth is basically what led to the film suffering this brutal 81% drop, where making it perform even worse in its second weekend than other superhero box office failures such as the Marvels, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania, Shazam Fury of the Gods, and The Flash. Joker Fale Adieu basically has had a worse second week as related to its box office than those box office flops, and has basically been put in a place where it's going to be possibly one of the biggest flops as related to superhero movies. Now, Joker Fale Adieu is supposed to be the sequel to 2019's movie made by Todd Phillips, Joker, which was supposed to be his take on the DC Comics character set in a world that was set in the 1970s. And while that film was a completely different kind of film, making a commentary on modern men and modern masculinity, it basically turned out to be one of the biggest hits of 2019 and grossed over $1 billion on a rather smaller budget. And with Joker being a success, many Warner Brothers executives wanted to go out here and make a greenlight a sequel to Joker, and they wanted to greenlight a sequel to Joker based on one, the success of the original film by Todd Phillips, because it was a critically acclaimed film, and it also got Oscar nominations for different categories and even got the lead actor Joaquin Phoenix a Best Actor Oscar. So Warner Brothers Discovery, on the word of Joaquin Phoenix, who said he wanted to do a sequel in a dream, basically came to Warner Brothers and got a sequel greenlit, and got the sequel greenlit even though the director, Todd Phillips, didn't want to do a sequel to the film. Basically, what Todd Phillips wanted to do was just make a Joker a one and done movie, because he was making a film that was making a commentary about the state of Western men, and didn't believe that there was a need to make another sequel. But Warner Brothers Discovery basically wanted to make this sequel, and wanted this sequel to basically be a cash grab sequel. However, this film was basically done in by several things. One thing that it was done in was by the greed of the Warner Brothers executives. Two, this film was also done in by the director, Todd Phillips, who really, I believe, subconsciously didn't want this film to be made, and consciously said he didn't want this film to be made. So passively, he had to go along with the studio executives who wanted to greenlight this film. But aggressively, what I believe he wanted to do with this film was make a statement of why we should not be going out here and making a sequel to The Joker. Basically, didn't want to make a sequel to The Joker because The Joker, in and of himself, in the commentary of the film, was becoming an antisocial character who was looking to go out here and be participating in wanton violence and promote chaos in society. That is what the Joker character was supposed to be about. And I guess Todd Phillips didn't want to see those ideas promoted as normal, and went out of his way to basically look to sabotage this film. Sabotage this film because he did not want that message of making the Joker into a hero to be promoted as something that would be socially normal and socially acceptable. That's what I believe Todd Phillips had the motivation to possibly sabotage Joker Fale Adieu, and look to sabotage Joker Fale Adieu by basically making it one into a musical, because musicals are the kinds of films that don't really do well at the box office, and wanted to make Joker Folie à Deux unappealing to people by making it a sequel that was not appealing to people, and then to wanted to go out here and deconstruct the Joker in the character of Arthur Fleck, regressing the character so that people could see this beta male basically falling completely apart, making him unappealing, and making him unappealing so that people wouldn't like him, and then going out here and then taking the life of Arthur Fleck so that nobody else could use this character. I believe all of that was done deliberately by Todd Phillips, willfully and intentionally, in my opinion, to basically destroy this Joker so that Warner Brothers Discovery couldn't turn him into a commercial franchise and make antisocial characters socially acceptable. That's what I believe he was trying to do as related to this entire situation. And this is possibly the reason why Joker wound up, again, getting critically panned, wound up failing at the box office, and having that precipitous drop at the box office that was one of the worst in history. I mean, Joker Folie à Deux did extremely poorly at the box office in its first week, and did even worse in its second week, and basically got destroyed by Terrifier 3. Again, a film that basically only cost $5 million and went on to make over $18 million. Basically, this film is just going to make profit from here on in, because its opening weekend was basically they made all their money back plus some. And when I look at Joker Folie à Deux, it basically proved a point as related to what I saw on the schedule, as related to movies. The other thing that did it in was being released on in October. Again, a time when studios don't release their best movies. They usually, studios know that kids are in school, parents are at work, so they basically just take out the trash and dump movies from August to late October. They dump the trash out from August to late October. And this release of Joker Folie à Deux basically wound up dying at the box office because it basically was released at the wrong time. And released at the wrong time because I believe some studio executives knew the film was basically garbage, and they knew it was a garbage sequel. And while they made this garbage sequel and again spent $200 million on it, basically what we're going to see in the aftermath of Joker Folie à Deux, I'm taking a page from Clownfish TV, who called this Joker Folie à Deux. Basically, this crappy movie is going to lead to some serious changes over at Warner Brothers Discovery, where we're possibly going to see somebody wind up getting fired and possibly several careers coming to an end, because when you go out here and greenlight a movie like this, your time as a studio executive is basically out. You're out of time. You're basically on the road to getting terminated at this point, because you cost the studio millions of dollars, and the guy who greenlit Joker Folie à Deux, basically his career is crap at this point. She is getting fired for greenlighting this movie. And when it comes to directors like Todd Phillips, I don't know if he'll be all right, because this type of box office failure, if you've had one of these, you're done as well. And I guess Todd wanted to protect his art, and he basically, as he looked to protect his art, he wound up losing a lot of money in sabotaging Joker Folie à Deux. However, if he gets to make another movie like The Hangover or one of those movies, he may be able to bounce back. But at this case, he's done. And when it comes to Joaquin Phoenix, he's possibly done as well, because he's the one who advocated for this movie. So heads are gonna roll as related to Joker Folie à Deux, the sixth box office failure for Warner Brothers Discovery as related to the genre of superhero movies. And this sixth box office failure puts more pressure on Warner Brothers Discovery, they've been looking for a hit since the DC extended universe wound up imploding, and if Superman 2025 doesn't turn out to be a hit, Warner Brothers Discovery may not even be around much longer because they can't keep taking hits like this. Now, they can't keep taking hits like this because if they keep taking losses like this, they are not going to be able to stay in the game because this ignominious end for Joker Folly Adieu is really embarrassing when you consider it got beat by a low budget horror movie and it also wound up getting trounced by Beetlejuice in its sixth week. I mean, here you have a film, Beetlejuice, that is on its way to making $400 million in its sixth week. And Joker Fale Adieu couldn't beat a movie that had been at the theaters for almost a month and a half. So this whole situation with Joker Fale Adieu shows us that there's a real problem over at Warner Brothers Discovery. One, they're over relying on superhero movies for their big box office. Two, they really are stuck with a lot of old concepts and continuing to make sequels and reboots and relaunches. And three, they basically don't have a plan for new material because Warner Brothers Discovery really should have been focusing on smaller budget movies like Terrifier 2 and looking to get new material from new younger audiences. I mean, Terrifier 2 shows us where the future of films is, and the future of films isn't just the horror genre, it's about making new characters like Art the Clown. Art the Clown is a brand new character meant to appeal to a new audience, and that's one of the reasons why that character is popular is he's a new character, and Warner Brothers Discovery needs to start investing in newer characters and not these old characters. I mean, this whole Joker thing was meant to be a one and done movie, and Warner Brothers Discovery needs to be focusing on making movies one and done for certain movies, and they need to be focusing on creating new properties and new franchises if they hope to get the box office because the audience is there. The audience is there and they want to see movies, but they don't want to see movies that are complete garbage or like these cash grab sequels such that Joker Fale Adieu was. Joker Fale Adieu was just made to be able to grab some cash, and it's time to go out here and make some fresh original concepts. That's what I see from this precipitous drop from Joker Fale Adieu. I mean, when I follow the numbers are showing me that Hollywood really needs to start focusing on making smaller budget movies with brand new directors and brand new characters and stories, brand new stories that can appeal to new audiences. And it's time to start reaching out to those new audiences because it's clear that the superhero movie genre has run out of gas, and it's time to walk away from bigger budget movies to smaller budget movies that can pull a profit. And it's time to start focusing on bringing up some new people so you can get some new vision and direction. I mean, that's what I see with Joker Fale Adieu's failure at the box office. And sadly, Hollywood continues to try to force everybody to continue watching superhero movies, but it's clear people want something different and something new. They want something new, but we need to see people realizing that the failure of Joker Fale Adieu means that it's time for something new. Now, if you want to check out my first full comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, you can get a paperback copy of that comic on lulu.com by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to check out my first digital comic, Esteem No Good Deed, along with John Haynes at Death's Door, you can find both of those comics on amazon.com in digital format, with No Good Deed only being 99 cents and at Death's Door being $3.99. And if you want to check out some of the action-packed fantasy on the SJS Direct universe, you can Pick up the books of the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy. You can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many Black women can't find a husband and why 70% of Black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Illuminati, the man who rules the world, takes on the head of the global elite in this all-new action-packed John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, Illuminati in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.